In this video, we're going to look at CRA models for the commutative property of addition. So the commutative property, right, you can think of the word commute, which means to move. So the commutative property is essentially saying that if we have 5 plus 2, this would be the same thing if we were to move these values around, be the same as 2 plus 5. Okay. So we'll start with the concrete model, and we're going to kind of actually do the pretty similar motion to what we just did there. So here we have a quantity of 5. We just have 5 blue cubes, and we have 2 red cubes. So if we're adding these together, one way you can kind of envision this is that we're adding them into one group. We can line them up as well if that makes it easier to count. All right, so we have 5 plus 2, so we have this total length of 7. All right, so that was starting with our 5 and then adding the 2 on. We can also start with 2. And then again, if we're going to add 5, we're going to add 5 to that group. Again, we can line those up to make them a little easier to count. So there we have, once we've added that quantity of 5 to 2, we still have that total of 7. So regardless of the order, right, whether we had started with 5 or whether we started with 2, we always end up with 7. So that's the commutative property saying we can move those add-ins or those individual quantities around and add them together, and we'll still end up with the same result. So that's the concrete model. Common representational model is going to be a number line. So again, on our top number line here, we're starting with this quantity of 5. So that's similar to that first one I showed where we're starting with the 5 blue cubes. And we're going to add on 2. Okay, so that takes us to 7. Or alternatively, we can switch the order around of those add-ins, and we can start with 2, and instead of adding 2, this time we'll add on 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we've added 5. Okay, and again, this is showing that they're equal because we're always ending at the same length of 7. So it doesn't matter if we start with the 5 and then add 2, or start with the 2 and add 5. We'll still get 7 as our sum. Okay. And then our abstract model is just writing these equations. And so we're either starting with 5, adding, which means we're combining, adding 2, that's going to be equal to 7, or we can switch the order. Okay, so the second equation only differs in that we've switched the order of our 2 add-ins around. Okay, so that's our commutative properties, that regardless of the order of our add-ins, we'll still get that same sum. Okay, so again, the concrete model, you can just use any object. I just use those cubes. The number line is going to be a common representational model, and then our equations will just be our abstract model.